Okay, so we're here with Jack and Glenn from Team Hard. We've got a few questions for them. So, are you ready, guys?
Think so.
Me and Kevin.
Are you sure?
No, actually, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, some of them are really, really good. Some of them are a bit.
That's the ones I'm worried about, though.
The
Ones, yeah.
risky ones.
Okay, Jack. So, what was your first car?
My first car was a written-off VW Polo, 1 litre. I didn't write it off.
I can say just before you started driving or after.
Just to rephrase that, I got a written-off 1 litre VW Polo, which I repaired myself with a few cable ties and some duct tape. And obviously I put a GTI spoiler on the back of it and the wheels, which made it really fast, much faster than the 1 litre.
6 V9s in the back.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely car. It's done, I think, 120,000 miles, and it's probably in a scrap heap somewhere near me.
Mm-hmm. My first car was a bit different. Was a Seat Leon with Pimp My Ride interior inside it, which was very interesting.
Fluffy dance.
Exactly.
Elaborate. So what's Pimp My Ride interior?
Pimp My Ride was about 9 TV screens in it and about
DVD.
20s. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like popcorn machine. And,
No. And stupidly, Tony Gillan bought it off me. So that was about 12 years ago now. So that was.
You have the flashing neons at the bottom.
Yeah, when you open the door, it shines down.
Really?
I just realised as well, it's Leon, isn't it?
Yeah.
So on brand, mate.
Exactly.
You are so on brand.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Do you keep your car clean or is it filthy?
If you'd have asked me this 48 hours ago,
It's
it's definitely been filthy. And I got out the other day and I gave it a good clean session. I'm one of these people that I start off going, I'm just going to give it a quick wash down, it'll be fine. And then about 4 hours later, I'm still outside polishing the underside of the car.
That's a quick wash.
Yeah.
Isn't it? 4 hours.
On your turn. That's quite quick, but it's only a mini now, so it's quite small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not that big.
Was it mini before you started washing then? Have you shrunk it because you washed it?
Cat D again. Yeah.
No, I'm exact opposite. Car's filthy all the time, unfortunately. Drive bad roads, 60 miles a day in it, so...
Right, so I suppose Scotland.
Scotland, raining most of the time.
Yeah.
You
Cold.
Do you know what you need? You need a car cleaning company to sponsor you.
Is that what you need?
It's really good,
Yeah. Bring it down, I'm sure Nick will give it a wash for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Wash everybody else's, doesn't he?
Okay, so I've got another question. First to you, Glenn. How did you get into racing?
Oddly, started racing minis at Knockhill, just in the Scottish Championship, and went down to Croft for one of the rounds, and Porsche GB even was there, and they used to do a promo car that you could come in and out every weekend, and the guy that was doing it that weekend never made it, so ended up getting asked on the Wednesday to race that weekend in Porsche Carrera Cup, and it went from there. Did that in the Pro-Am 2, won the class, and then aspired from there really, so in between rear-wheel drive, GT3 and touring cars, it's been good.
Porsche Carrera Cup.
A mini to a Porsche Carrera Cup car on the same day, basically.
Yeah.
That's quite
That's not bad.
16-year-old.
I started quite young. I was 6 years old. I was playing football for my local scouts team.
Okay.
And it was on my 6th birthday. I remember it still now. My dad and my uncle put £100 in each for my first kart. That came with 2 engines, the kart itself, came with a race suit and a crash helmet, so it was the full works. That was all my dad was ever going to spend on my racing. And then he cashed his pension in for my first race car. So I do owe him probably still for that. And I hope he doesn't watch this video because I would have just reminded him. But I was 6 years old. At that point, you couldn't race at 6 years old. You had to wait till you was 8. So we just went to our local kart track, which was in Reading, called Reading Trail Park. And I mean, it was so shiny, the surface. You could see a reflection in it, basically. It was like an ice ring. So it was good practice. Driving around there most evenings after school, in my school shoes. Because my dad had only spent £100, that's all he was spending. So I had the race suit that was 20 sizes too big for me.
No race boots?
No race boots, fireproof ones.
What's your favourite circuit currently in the VTCC?
I thought you were going to say circuit overall there, I was going to say something else. Probably Brands GP is a good track. I've not actually done it in a touring car before. So every time we go, I thought this was going to be the year that we just did.
Now.
And Tony told me after I signed that it was going to be the Indy, so we went back. So hopefully 2021 is going to be the first time to do it, but every other car, the Porsche and GT3s is mega through the back, so hopefully.
Do you normally run the GP circuit twice? Once for the GP, once for the Indy.
No, they usually run Indy in the start of the year and then GP at the end. But because the difference in the light, because it went longer this season, we had to swap it.
They haven't got the light at the bottom of the track or something, have they?
No, it gets too dark.
They'd have mixed it up a bit though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, all right.
Favourite circuit?
I mean, yeah, Brands GP is definitely up there. It's a proper driver's track, but don't know about Glyn, but quite shallow as a touring car driver or any race driver. We like where we go well at. So you tend to, if you've won somewhere the year before, you're like, and do 10 Silverstones. Brilliant. But yeah, driver's track, I'd say Brands GP. I actually quite like Donington Park as well. Sort of fast flowing circuit. So
Alton for me.
Alton.
Yeah, that's brilliant actually.
Closest.
On your doorstep.
Good track.
Well, it's Alton or Donington.
Yeah.
I do like Donington. I like the big sweeping.
Silverstone, I've never done any. Scotland, never done.
Knockhill's great.
Knockhill's a mega circuit for being so compact. You get the variations in it and the slow speed and some high speed bits. So it's
always good. Wet.
Always wet.
And misty.
Yeah. If you can't see the road bridge, you know it's going to start raining.
So I've got a question for you, Jack. What was it like to win at Silverstone?
Yeah,
it's rubbish.
It's horrendous. Yeah, it's horrendous. There's a picture. I think the face says it all. Even with a crash helmet on, you can sort of tell when someone's pretty excited about something. So
the roof says it all.
It does.
The roof does say it all. Yeah. I think as a driver, you never get bored of that winning feeling. And it had been half a season by that point, or maybe a little bit longer, maybe 8 weekends since I'd last won a touring car race, and I'd sort of forgotten what it felt like. And I mean, it meant so much to me. Like, you put all that hard work in, no matter if you're racing for 20th usually, or if you're racing for the lead. So to cross the line and get the teams first of all was amazing. But to see what it meant to the boys and girls in the garage, that's what made it even more special, I think, seeing the sort of atmosphere in the garage. And Alan Hyde, who's the BTCC track commentator, the only way he could explain it to me after that race was it was like I was at a football ground. It wasn't like a normal touring car atmosphere. It was like it was so loud and so much passion was going on. It was like, obviously Wycombe Wanderers, my local team, had just scored the winner in the FA Cup final. It was that sort of thing. So yeah, it was good.
We saw everybody in the garage and whatever was jumping up for joy, screaming. It was like a concert.
It was brilliant.
Like a Oasis concert.
Yeah, it was good. Really good.
Most memorable mishap.
Go on, Glenn, you start this one. I've got a few. I'll have a think through mine.
I'm assuming, obviously, because Glenn, you've driven more sort of a variety of vehicles. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Probably not so much in the GT3 racing, because a lot of it's your two drivers as well. So then from my side, it's not so much.
So all the mishaps happen to somebody else.
The one that really gets to me is probably the Carrera Cup one, going out to the last round at Brands Hatch on Brand Indy at the time. It was 2009 probably. And went to start the car up for warm up, and the bolt sheared in the clutch. So I went round all the drivers before we went to the grid. They were all in the assembly area. All the drivers signed the document that I could drive somebody else's car apart from one. So then I was sitting third in the championship. Couldn't go out for the last race until I got my car. Eventually got the car started. Started from the pit lane when everybody went out, and got up to 6th, I think it was, but still managed to get 5th in the championship instead of 3rd in the championship for one person not signing the document that wasn't even in the championship. Wow. So that was a bit of a heart in the mouth moment more than anything else, more than a mishap. But
I'll say that doesn't sound like the biggest mishap to me.
Not really.
No, he's throwing somebody else under the bus there. His
maybe slight misfortune.
Yeah. And for me, I was going to throw myself under the bus.
Go on.
I've got a few. Like, I've been around the blocks a bit. So in British touring cars, you push 110% every single time. Like I say, even if you're racing for P25, you're still racing absolutely to the maximum, and nobody wants to give an inch, and you're still pushing. If you're a second a lap off, you're still pushing to the max that your car and package can do that day. So I'm going only a little bit further back here. This was this year just gone, Snetterton. Race 2, we've been struggling for most of the year, really, that the car wasn't quick enough. We all admit that, and we just stumbled across something, really. We've been chipping away at it, and we found this setup in race 2. And Jay, who's the team manager, was actually my engineer for that weekend as well. So he was on the radio to me and across the line, and we just done like the 6th or 7th fastest lap of the race. And for us, that was quite good. We made a big step, and he was all excited and giddy, and I was like, this car's going pretty well here. And we went through turn 1, and the car had been quite loose all race, so a bit of oversteer. and I dropped my left rear onto the curb, which is fine. And then it went onto the grass literally straight afterwards, like literally just dropped off the edge. And at that moment, it went straight round. And the only corner I think at Snetterton, where there's no runoff, was the corner I decided to obviously have a mishap at, and it fired me straight into the barrier. So yeah, I held my hands up. It was a driver error. You know, we all make these mistakes, and so when you're pushing to the last little bit, you know, these things do happen sometimes. So yeah, slap on the wrist from me. I owed Tony a few beers, too. So yeah. But we got it back out for the last race, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah. You know, for us, it was the work that the team put in to get that car back out on the grid for the last race. There was an hour and a half from the moment the car came back to starting the next race, and yeah, it was in a bad state. So to get it back out again and be competitive,
get the duct tape out.
Yeah. Duct tape and cable ties. If it can't be fixed, so that's it. That's it.
Saves everything.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Who do you consider, this to you, Jack? Who do you consider to be the best driver of all time? I'm talking about the best BTCC driver of all time.
Best BTCC driver. I was going to say Michael Schumacher because he was like my hero growing up. Yeah. I used to watch him. But the best touring car driver. Do you know what? The grid's really competitive at the minute. You know, back in the day, sometimes there was maybe 15 cars on the grid, but maybe only 5 could win races. Whereas if you look at it now, whether I said earlier on, if you're racing for 20th, you're still racing against champions in their own class. So it is really, really jam-packed full of talent.
Yeah.
But I'd say Mr. Consistent is Colin Turkington. He's smooth, he's consistent, he's a very clean driver as well. He is up there with the very best, I think, ever in touring cars. Obviously, he won it 4 times now. But outright pace, Ash Sutton, you know, I think he's absolutely rapid. Whatever he's driving, he jumps in and he's quick. And then for the charisma and also for always dragging something out of it, Jason Plato as well. You know, these are the guys that I grew up watching on TV. So so yeah, to be able to race with them is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of era then, so you're talking sort of like really recent. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up watching the Super Touring Car era.
Yeah, so that's the same as me.
Yeah, I love that. That's what it's all about. You know, like the Renault Meganes, the Ford Mondeos, bits and pieces like that. Yeah. And I had the Toka Touring Car game as well. So, you know, I used to play all these people. I used to have the cheat codes.
Yep.
The tank, drive the wrong way. I don't know why I did that. I used to love crashing, obviously. But yeah, I grew up watching that on TV, and to now be able to race with my heroes as such was pretty cool. And then to be able to race for wins with my heroes and stand on the podium with them people was pretty amazing. So, it's good. And obviously we've got the game coming out again.
Yeah, we are.
So we're here,
really sort of looking forward to that, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
It's been a while since there's been a decent touring car game.
Yeah, exactly.
Same question.
You haven't got to say me, come sat next to you. Don't worry.
My dream was always to race next to Jack Goff.
You did text me that. He's lying, definitely.
No, I think definitely recently, I think echo what Jack said, Sutton, pace-wise is mega. I think he pulls everything he can out every car he sits in just now, so for him, definitely. I think for somebody that probably came in later but was able to compete with everybody would have been Gordon Shedden. I think he was a very competitive driver in a lot of things he went in, and even out with touring cars, he was in the classics and the little bits he did in GT cars as well, he was there and thereabouts, so I think he's respect the driver for sure.
One of the other questions, who do you consider to be the best racing driver of all time?
Obviously
in any genre, so yeah, you've gone with Schumacher.
Yeah, that's just the guy that I sort of remembered watching as a kid on the whole thing. He was like my idol watching Formula One, and yeah, I'd probably say Michael Schumacher.
For all the haters that hate him, and there has been a lot of things going back and forth with best cars and everything, but somebody that's breaking all the records right now has got to be Lewis Hamilton, and different era, but the way he's breaking records just now, you can't take a lot away from him, to be honest.
Always beats his teammate, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Like, you know, he's got Bottas in the car next to him. Bottas is no slouch, so...
No.
Okay.
What about you? Who do you think the greatest racing driver is?
It's got to be Schumacher, hasn't it, I think. You know, after everything he's done and all the races he's won, and definitely Schumacher.
Maybe Senna for me.
Senna?
Yeah.
I just don't think I saw enough of Senna. I think I've heard loads about him. I never really watched it.
Again, it's the year, isn't it? So I mean, when I used to watch Formula One, it was Mansell, Senna, Prost, people like that.
Yeah.
I sort of stopped watching it when it was
I'm not
late, sort of.
I'm not a big Formula One fan, if I'm honest.
I used to watch it religiously. It used to be great.
There's a new thing on Sky. What's it called? There's one, and it takes you through all the years, the 70 years of F1, which is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. But for me, I mean, Schumacher, you He's the one that always gets mentioned. You know,
Not always in a good way.
No. But
Push to the limits.
That's some controversy.
Yeah. Haven't we all?
But having said that, I mean, in Formula One, it's more difficult to get away with.
Yeah,
than it is a
definitely.
touring car, for example.
Yeah.
Touring car, you can rub a door and carry on.
Yeah.
It's a bit more difficult, isn't it?
it does. Have you had an occasion when you're driving, obviously in the BTCC cars, where you think to yourself, "Oh dear, what's going to happen now?" As in, you're heading to the barrier. Have you ever thought, is this it? Brace yourself, kind of thing.
Well, we just spoke about the mishap. Yeah, that's probably up there. But looking back to the picture behind me, we'd obviously led it from pretty much 4 or 5 laps in when the safety car came out. It was raining, was on the wet tyre, and then with about 10 laps to go, you see in the picture there's no windscreen header strip. Basically, it flew off. And which is fine. However, recently what they brought in this thing where Toka have got a lifting system that you have to drill through the windscreen, so it comes through the roll cage into the cage, so they can lift the car up.
Yeah.
Which obviously, having holes like that either side of the windscreen with it pouring down with rain, meant the car filled up with water pretty quick. Fast forward about 25 seconds, and I couldn't see anything out of the front windscreen or the side windows. So we had 10 laps to go, and I had a 50p piece down by my wing mirror down the side, which I was basically using as a reference point on curbs, things like that, to see where I was going. And with the water coming in the car, it got in the radio system. So I was trying to talk to the team and saying how long's left. Is anyone coming up behind me? I couldn't see if there's a car behind me or if I was catching a car. And I locked up with 2 laps to go, and almost threw it into the gravel trap. So, I mean, how things could have changed just like that.
Yeah.
But simple thing like, the windscreen strip came off, couldn't see where we were going, and was driving literally on a 50p piece hole down the side of the car, trying to keep it on the track.
Takes some doing.
Yeah, we almost lost it.
Talk about on the edge. What about you, Glenn?
Probably the same. Going back to Silverstone for GT, British GT, and I knew that the position we're in, we had to finish second to win the championship, and we had Richard Westbrook behind us in a Porsche, and he knew that he had to make sure that I didn't finish the race at all. So 3 laps to the end
so you knew what was coming.
So 3 laps to the end was trying to go in and look in your mirrors and avoid him rather than make the corner.
As far away as possible.
And when he's not going down the corner waiting for you to turn in, made it very difficult. And even then, there was when you were hitting on them, it's again not like the touring cars that could take a bit of a beating. It's if you hit them in the wrong place, you're out. So that was definitely 3-4 laps with your heart in your mouth sort of situation.
Okay, so this is a good one. If you didn't race, what would you do?
Come on.
If I didn't race, what would I do? Spend a lot more time on holiday.
Fair enough.
To be honest, everything that I do day to day, you would still do anyway. Obviously, with the racing side of things, I've still got a full-time job up in Aberdeen anyway. So apart from that, it's probably spend more time enjoying my life and not be committed to 10 weekends a year. But obviously, you're doing it because you love it as well.
Yep.
For me, I used to be a mechanic in British touring cars, so I went to Silverstone Motorsport College.
Go back to the spanners.
Yeah, so I did the other side of the job as well. So I did 2 years or 1.5 years at Silverstone Motorsport College, getting a degree or diploma, probably not quite a degree, a little bit less than that. I got taught what a spanner was. This is how you use a 10mm spanner, basically.
You can never find one.
Yeah, exactly, and then I got a job for Matt Jackson when he was in BMW in the 3 Series, and I think it was on the left rear of his car, I think it was. So I did a 1.5 years working in British touring cars as a mechanic.
So if we ever go back and watch any races when Matt was in, if anything happened with the left rear of the car, it was your fault.
Yeah, it was the BMW
I'll be watching
dealer
season reviews later.
Yeah. What was it, 2008 or 2009? I think it was, it'd have been 08. 08, the white car with the blue writing on the side. That's when I was there working. I think it's probably more the T-Boy, actually.
Okay, so my last question to you is Colin Tickerton or Ash Sutton?
That's a bit harsh, isn't it? That's a bit harsh. It's like I mentioned them too.
Well, I got 16 seconds.
That's why I'm delaying it, so I don't have to answer it.
That fell. Sorry.
Anyway, what did you reckon?
No,
Go on. What do you think?
Ash Sutton.
I don't even mind either of them. Actually, they're both quick, so they both push you on, which is good. As a driver, you want people to help push you on and help develop a car. So, yeah, I think they're both good in that sort of respect. Both sort of rear-wheel drive specialists, but both been in front-wheel drive as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there's not much between them, really. They're both good lads.
I think they.
So well swerved, that wasn't it?
Very diplomatic
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I think the way Ash drives and attacks it more than
Yeah.
Colin. Colin's a very level-headed, competent driver, which is obviously very quick as well, and he knows how to win championships. But the way that Ash can come through the field sometimes is impressive.
That's it then, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Didn't
you
make me
very
sweat
much.
too much.
Yeah,
That's
good.
good.
Thank you.
Who's that last one?
Okay.